When a bike is very nimble, as an RD400 is very nimble, you're able to avoid potholes, avoid manhole covers, and turn around in a driveway without making an ordeal out of it like you dock in an oil tanker. But being nimble is a quality that grows on you. As time goes by, you appreciate it more and more. And my MT09, it just seems like you couldn't make the bike any more nimble. And by the way, you can watch this in 4K. Just adjust your device. It looks like we have just another beautiful summer day to get out on the open road. We got a little maintenance to do on the MT09. I want to adjust the chain. I want to feed the fish, check the garden, and get out on the open road before it rains. They said it might rain 70%. We're going riding anyway. Now, part of what I do on a regular basis, depending on how many miles I get, is check the chain. Keep it clean, keep it lubed, and number one, keep track of the mileage. We've got about 17,000 on this chain now, and all chains wear not exactly evenly. There's always soft spots and tight spots. This one seems a little better than average. I'm hoping it's going to go to 20,000. It's coming up on a point where I should be thinking about getting another chain, and I'll get Vlad to get me one. But I want to get a really high quality chain when I replace it, a Regina as an example. And hopefully, we'll get another 40,000 before we have to replace that one. But again, that can change by how you ride the bike, how you keep the chain lubed and cleaned, and how you feed the fish. Because if the fish get out of the pond, anyway, I'll leave it to your imagination. We have eggplants growing. Karen's making baba ganoush. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. And fresh tomatoes every day. But again, it's getting cooler as the days go by, and we have had a wonderful season, just an absolutely wonderful summer. But we're going to get out and enjoy it while we can. Of course, every bike has a combination of some different qualities. Some bikes are really super fast. Some bikes handle super well. Some even do both well. And some are super expensive, super everything. But what I think is a real good compromise is when a bike handles real well, and I throw nimble in right up near the top of that. And as I get older, I want it to be more and more nimble. I want it to be easy to take it in and out of the garage and back it up and turn it around and turn around on streets or in Luciano's driveway or somewhere. And when you don't have it, all of a sudden you realize, whoa, that's a big thing. Being nimble, and on these back roads, there's spots on these back roads where being nimble is right up there at the top of all the things I want to have in a motorcycle. Now, a characteristic I've really come to appreciate in the last maybe 5 years is having a bike reasonably quiet. I like to hear the motor, but I don't want to make it sound like a dump truck coming down the road or something even worse. Anyway, we're riding in a lot of these areas. There's houses, and being stealth is really to your advantage. When I first got this motorcycle, I was not sure how nimble it really was. So what I did, I rode the RD and came right home, got on this bike, and I tried to do a fair comparison. And this bike actually felt to me to be a little more nimble. And that's one characteristic. I can't tell you how much I enjoy the nimbleness of this motorcycle and, of course, of the RD. And when you ride them back to back, you'd be thinking, wow, the RD is several pounds lighter, but it doesn't feel lighter. The MT09 with the wide bars and the way they have it set up, it feels lighter and, of course, more nimble. Now, it's on roads just like this where being nimble is so nice. It's just So comforting to know you can just avoid a pothole or a dead squirrel or whatever. And being nimble is really good. And anytime I get off the MT09 and ride somebody else's bike that's a little bit less nimble or, well, some other characteristic, I just want to get back on the MT09 as soon as possible. Now, another characteristic I like, number one, I really do like the nimbleness. I do like the fact it feels lighter than it is, because there are some bikes that I've owned actually that were supposed to be light but felt heavy, steered heavy, always just felt a little bit, there was just a little bit too much gas in the tank. This bike is, I guess, the way Yamaha has it designed, the weight is down low, or some magic combination of engineering and geometry or whatever. The bike just feels a lot lighter than it is, and that feel of being super light, the feel of it being like an RD, is something that I personally, that's one of the characteristics I like. And another thing that makes this bike feel different in some way than other bikes that I've ridden, and I have ridden a lot of motorcycles in my life, the quick shifter makes it feel like an RD, where you're doing a lot of shifting up and down, and you always get that feeling that you could just go through that quick shifter and really have a great time. Now, another thing I think contributes to this bike feeling the way it does, I think it's designed right from the get-go to do what it does, to be kind of a hooligan bike, to feel lighter than it is. It's a minimalized bike. There's not a lot of things hanging off. There's not a lot of things that don't have to be on the bike. Cosmetic things covering stuff up. It's really a bare bones, all business piece of machinery. And when I bought the bike new, and of course it was a birthday present from Karen, my 75th birthday, I just couldn't wait to get home and start restyling, making up sketches of things I wanted to change. I wanted to paint the wheels. I wanted to make some carbon fiber parts unique to this bike. I wanted to get that little fly screen on there. And I wanted to get as much blue on a bike as possible and minimize, absolutely minimize the amount of flat black parts on the bike. And it was pretty predictable. Every time I took a part that came stock from the bike, flat black, and painted it, and it went over 2 years, actually, over two full years. And painting the wheels silver, I think, made a nice upgrade. Putting mirrors on that were a little bit better than the stock ones, I like that as an upgrade. And to be honest, I have a few things I want to do over this upcoming season if time permits. And to be honest, all the motorcycles in my humble collection are always a work in progress. They're never really done, and I'm always dreaming about what I can do in the upcoming season. And the day is getting long, but this just turned out to be wonderful, and it's time to get back to his brother, the RD, back at the farm. Well, of course, we're approaching the best time of riding. The riding year is right ahead of us now. The weather's starting to cool off little by little, and yet there's things that are still green and flowers blooming and everything. This is for sure. The next 2 or 3 months are going to be the nicest time for this part of the country. And hope you'll be joining us for some rides in the future too. My humble bike collection and riding almost every day is helping keep me alive and young, and thanks so much for watching.